Welcome to a special edition of the Soccer Snobs. I don't want to say breaking news, but is this breaking news?
Kind of breaking. I don't know. It's been a couple hours or an hour and a half, so let's just say that's breaking.
Yeah, latest news. The Tokyo 2021 Women's Olympic roster has been announced. And as per usual, whenever something big happens with the men's or women's national team, Steve and I come on here and we talk about it. So this is what we'll talk about here. I mean, there's not a whole lot of surprises, but why don't we just go by position and talk about the squadron? So we'll start in net. We've got Sheridan and Labe. I mean, no big surprise other than your terrible call this afternoon. You want to
Yeah.
fill in the listeners?
Yeah, I wrote Aaron McLeod in my predicted 18, and I thought, no, she's not going to get in this time. But been there, done that, right? Lots of experience with her. So probably disappointed to be left out, but those two are clear front runners right now.
Yeah, I guess it's for me. This is arguably this and Gilles that we'll talk about later, but this is probably one of the biggest who's going to start as a keeper. Like this is probably as close to, and I don't want to use the word goalie controversy because it's not controversy. They're all great people and they're very, very supportive of each other, but this is a tough one for Priestman.
Yeah, I don't know who she's going to go with, to be honest. Like, it's a big toss-up. I just want to speak to the depth again. Like, you've got Aaron McLeod, then you've got Riley Foster, who is one for the future that we've had on here. For sure, if she's getting more minutes at Liverpool like the end of the year, she's going to be really pushing in there. And let's not forget someone we haven't mentioned on this show, Keza Massey, who's at West Virginia, local from Ottawa, played on the youth teams. Real intriguing prospect there coming through. So like we're really deep in gold, and I agree with you. Like it's a bit of a toss up. I can't even think of who it's going to start, to be honest. Probably Sheridan.
Yeah, that would be my pick. So not like anyone cares. Marc's pick is Sheridan.
Everybody who's listening cares, Marc. Come on, man.
Yeah, that's true. All right. So we'll go with the defenders now, and I'm going to list Lawrence as a defender.
Yeah.
Because if she's not listed as a defender, it's like they're very short back there. You've got Chapman, Zadorsky, Buchanan, Lawrence, Gilles, and Riviere.
Yeah.
That's 6 defenders. I mean, holy moly, they're going to be riding those guys, those women pretty tough because, I mean, they got a lot of games, a lot of days. And I mean, if one goes down, that's only 5. And I don't know. Can anyone else play at the back? I guess we'll get into that later. But do you play Lawrence at the back?
If you're asking me now, no, I don't, because I think she's so dynamic and we need some experience and dynamism, or however you say it. Like it's our Achilles heel right now, is putting the ball in the net and creating opportunities. We didn't create a lot of opportunities either in some of these warm-up games, and that does worry me, although we're so solid. So I personally, I think I'd be looking to put her somewhere else. Can you change her this late? Probably not. Like Bev Priestman's probably going to keep her at right back, try to get her up and down the pitch a lot more as like a Trent Arnold-Alexander or Kyle Walker or whoever, like to get up and down. I don't know. I just have a sneaky feeling in the back of my mind that I'd push her further forward.
Yeah, for me, the way the squad's announced with only 6 defenders, it says to me that she's playing at the back. Like, and I'll tell you this, the absence of Gabby Carl says also to me that she's just Lawrence is at the back. She has to be. And to move Lawrence out of there, you got to really trust Riviere. And I don't know if I'm butchering that name. It's Riviere. It has to be Riviere. Yeah. So anyway, that's the back line. And I mean, what a great, like we've talked about to death here, but what a great depth at center back with Gilles, Buchanan, Zadorsky. I mean, you can't get better 3 defenders than that on any team anywhere, I don't think.
No, that's definitely the strength of the team, I think, right there. And just the depth of having one of those not in the lineup. Let's take 1 minute to just we've gone so fast, so quickly with Vanessa Gilles. Like, she wasn't even in some of these squads a year ago, and now it's like we're upset because she's not starting. Like, let's give her due. It's her first Olympics. She's pushed on so well at Bordeaux. I can't understand why, or maybe it's already happening. Like a team in the English Premier League, or sorry, the Women's Super League isn't coming in for her or somewhere else. But what a rise, what a player, what an attitude, just like absolute unbelievable. You can just trust her, throw her in at any time with anybody, and she's going to come through. I think, being local and being an Ottawa show, like massive congratulations to her. We said it on the show to the people who helped get her there, like it's so hard to name everybody all the time when you do these things. But, Raz, I think, was one person, Sanjeev, a bunch of different people that she came through, Joe Fournier at Louis Real. But let's just take that quick second to give her due and say, you know what, well done being an Olympian. We've got an Olympian today.
For sure. We spoke to an Olympian. That's kind of neat. That's as close as we'll ever get to the Olympics.
If she gets on the podium, it's like, I feel like we did it. Like Snobs.
You need to send her a Snobs t-shirt or something, and she can wear it around. Not like she would, but
everybody else got the flag in that, but she's got a Snobs shirt on.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
So we'll jump up to center midfield now. Again, I mean, the way Canada plays, usually play with three in the middle, and I'm seeing only four names essentially, but I guess that's where Lawrence can kind of jump into. But anyway, so we've got Quinn, Fleming, and Scott, which is the preferred three, it seems, that Priestman goes with all the time, which I like, and then Grosso's in there as kind of cover rotation there in the middle. So I don't know. I mean, there's really no surprises there other than the massive surprise of Sophie Schmidt being left out.
Yeah, that's a big one. What is she? 200 caps? Am I exaggerating? Is that right? Over 200 caps. That's a lot of experience. That's, I think, one of the first steps of Priestman, ushering out some of the older guard there. She's on her way out. I don't know if Sinclair will be around much longer after this one. It's a big one. It takes guts, putting Grosso in there, but you could see in the last few warm-up games, Grosso was always first off the bench. So, like you said, not too many surprises, but that could be considered like a bit of a surprise in the announcement.
Yeah. And we talked about it a while ago. I don't remember when, but about Quinn. And this could be, to me, a breakout party, because they play is like just total box to box, can attack, can defend, always on the ball, always looking for the ball. And it's just, I don't know. I think a breakout party is in the works.
I wouldn't disagree. I'm a big fan of Quinn. The way they play in the middle with always searching for that ball, just that attitude and hunger and confidence to be on the ball. To me, that's true bravery. I think I must have said it in some shows over the last year, but to get on the ball, to want to be on the ball in big moments, to want to create and to want to go into those dirty areas where you're going to get kicked, that's, to me, true bravery. And Quinn does that. And it's a very, very massive asset for us right now when, in my opinion, Fleming hasn't been at her best. So to have that other person in the middle of midfield, it's only going to help her rediscover her form, Jessie Fleming, as well.
Yeah, that's true. And then you have Scott, in front of the back four. I know we've disagreed on her before, but she just has so much experience. I really hope she can, rise to this and be.
I'm a fan. I think Bev Priestman had to pick her. I think she's done well. She's cast her lot with her. I think she's a great veteran. She covers that, that does a little windshield wiper role in front of the back two center backs. I would see her as someone who start to move out. I'd love to see the Grossos get more of a chance. I'm going to butcher this name, Strategakis, or do you know what I say? Strategakis. I think she's a fantastic player. Maybe not a 6. Yeah. And Jordan Listro's got herself in there, got herself a bit of a shout. She didn't get a lot of opportunities early, but I like her athleticism. I like her bite in that role. I think she could probably fill that. I think she needs to get a regular starting job to, peg down in her NWSL team. So you've got some that are coming through for the future, but for these Olympics, I think you probably got to stay with her.
Yeah, and I guess the the wingers here, I'll call them wingers, forwards, whatever we want to call them. They play on the more outside of the field. How about that? That's a better description. We've got Prince, Rose, Becky, and to me, a surprise is Leon. Now, I like her. I've always liked her, but when she got hurt in the season, she was out for a long time, and it was kind of like the Olympics. She wasn't even on my radar. But seeing her in the last few friendlies, and she's so active and like buzzy. I don't know, like I can't figure it out, but it just seems like if she's not going 190,000%, then I've never seen, like, she's just always full out.
I like your description. I love buzzy. I think it came down to, I don't know. I think it came down to Lyon and Huitema. If you take Huitema, you've basically got three of the same player in Sinclair, Viens, and Huitema. Like, she didn't do as well out wide, Huitema, when she had her chances. I don't think that's her position. So if you've got Viens and Sinclair, then you got to, in my opinion, you have to pick Lyon. I think that's four really good wide edge winger, whatever you want to call them, wide forwards. Really good. I love her energy coming off the bench as a sub. I love the level she's playing at currently. So I think you've got a lot. She's got a lot to offer. I think the only knock against her is really the same thing as against the rest of Canada. Can't she finish properly enough? Like, she creates a lot, lots of good pressing. So I think, the other person it would have come down to is Evelyn Viens versus Huitema, and really tough to knock Evelyn out of the lineup the way she's played over the last year, everywhere she's been. So it's Huitema's one for the future, and one we want to, probably end up potentially basing a squad around, but I just don't think she's there yet.
Yeah. I just want to bring up the last two then. Sinclair and Viens. We touched on Viens. I mean, Sinclair is obviously going to start up front, and Viens is going to likely come in at some points of the game. I don't know, for Sinclair or for one of the wingers to play two up front. I don't know, because Viens she's just an out and out striker, she's and so is Sinclair, really. I know Sinclair can drop deep a little bit, but Viens, to me, in a tournament like this, it's just, what's the word I'm looking for? It's invaluable to have somebody who can score goals out of just a half chance.
She's like that Scalacci type striker who could go off and get you 5 or 6 goals in a tournament and be a big difference. I have a question for you. Do you think, okay, now what would you do? Do you think they're going to stick with what they did in the last few games, where Sinclair's almost like an attacking mid in a sense in that diamond, and Prince and Rose were pushed farther, or Becky is pushed like almost a bit like how Firmino and Liverpool do, where he drops and the two wide guys are making those runs? It seemed like maybe that's either something she wants to go with or she wants to experiment with it. What do you think Priestman's going to do?
I think she'll do exactly that. I don't think Sinclair has the legs to be like, if in nowadays soccer, if you don't have pace up front, it's almost easy to defend. And it's nothing to say Sinclair is not a good player anymore, but I mean, she can't play off the shoulder. She can't do that. I mean, and then we've got such pacey wingers like Prince and Rose and Becky and Leon. Like, you want them attacking, and Sinclair can come in, drop deep, hold the ball up. She's strong, and I would be shocked if we didn't see it, and I'd be kind of upset, to be honest, because really? I think that's our best chance.
It's such a tough one. I mean, obviously I'm not the coach and I didn't prepare them, and it's easy for me to say change formation. You can't change the formation now. You can't change at least the one or two you've worked on. I don't know, is Sinclair better in a 2 up front where there is a pacey person with her, where she can drop deep but also be a little bit more advanced to be further in the box? Is she going to get in the box in those scoring positions herself, in this role, or is she becoming more of a number 10 where she's creating? Like, I know she does it at Portland and I don't see it a lot, but she's our best chance to score a goal at the end of the day. She still is. And that's a problem, but also, a huge asset to have her there. So, that's where my concern lies with that formation. So I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'd like to see Quinn get forward more. They're so good attacking. I just don't ever see us attack from the midfield. I know you've said it about Fleming and how she doesn't really get forward or really defend. She's kind of like in a purgatory land. So I'd love to see Quinn as almost like a 10, I guess. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I just have like 70 formations in my head, and I'm thinking maybe a 4-4-2, maybe
Yeah,
do we play both Sinclair and VNs when we need a goal? I don't know.
that's
You know
tough.
what? I don't envy
I,
Priestman right now.
I think in that diamond, you've got Quinn and Fleming sort of center mids, like on a left or a right of a diamond, and then you've
Yeah.
got Scott holding. So arguably, that would allow Quinn to get forward more. I'd love to see Quinn get on the end of things at the top of the box.
Yeah.
And the same for Fleming. I think purgatory is a great word. She seems caught in that land of purgatory where she's not playing in between the lines. She's not defending or attacking well enough, and she's trying to find her game again. So let's just say if she ticks, we're going to be in a great spot.
Yeah,
Like
no kidding.
because her way of unlocking a defense when she's on through balls, passes, all that. That's massive. That's missing right now for us.
Yeah. Fleming, right? Yeah.
Fleming, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So here's my little stat pull. We've got in this squad, we've got 4 players who are over 30, 12 that are 26 and under, and 4 that are under 22, which to me, that's pretty good for now and the future, to be honest. I mean, that's a pretty young team, and one of the over 30s is Sinclair, obviously, and one is a keeper. So, I mean, I found that stat rather comforting, considering, we're saying this could be the end of an era for a couple people like, Schmidt and Sinclair, but that's a pretty good age.
Bodes very well for for Priestman moving forward into World Cups and the next Olympics down the line.
Yeah.
Having a lot of returning talent come back. I'm excited for this team. I know Priestman saying like you want to always better and get more better than bronze, and I love that she has that attitude. For me, what's realistic? I don't know if meddling's realistic, but I wouldn't be surprised, but I think you nailed the key. It's can a Viens or a Becky or someone carry the goal scoring load. I think that's what's missing to get on the podium. If we find that, podium's definitely a shot. I'll be Debbie Downer to end this and say I don't think podium is what's going to happen. But I'm really just looking for, because I'm also a huge nerd for soccer, to see the growth of the Gilles and the continued development of Buchanan's and these players that'll be there for the next time and get us for the World Cup. I almost look at it as like a World Cup tune-up in a way. Not quite ready yet, but can we be ready for the World Cup? I think that's more realistic.
Yeah. So if you had to pick, I'll give you time to think, but one player that's like the key to this tournament, who do you think needs to? I know we mentioned Quinn, but other than Quinn, I'll go first to give you a bit of that. And my pick is rather boring, but it's also important, because I'm going to say it's Christine Sinclair. And it's strange because obviously you can say, Christine Sinclair, she's the best of all time. But where she is now, and what I've seen from her in the friendlies and stuff, it's worrying me, to be honest. And if she can step up, which she always does, if she can step up and be the player we know she is, then I would say a podium potentially can happen. But if Sinclair is the Sinclair I've seen in the last couple of months with the sore ankle, the injuries, maybe, I don't know, then we're going to be struggling, because this team still relies on the greatest women's player of all time.
Yeah, that's hard to argue. I'm gonna totally just push this into the ground and say Jessie Fleming. She's probably gonna send me an email and say leave me alone, like, because the last 3 shows I've been on here, it's like, or there's gonna be like a card in the mail with like pretty bows on it saying like, please stop talking about me. But I think I speak about her so much because I rate her so highly. At one point I thought she was on pace to be world class, and I try not to say world class lightly. There's not a lot of world class players. I don't think Becky's world class yet. I think Becky is another one who could potentially be there, but I thought Fleming was going to be our next world class player to take over for Sinclair. I'd like to see her get back to those levels, and I think if she's pulling the strings properly, unleashing Quinn to make late runs into the box, helping Sinclair, getting that pace out wide we talked about, putting them through more often. And you know what? Maybe their return rate on their strikes isn't super amazing. But if Fleming's putting them in more, well, then more chances equals more chance at goal, right? It's very, very basic stuff. So for me, she's got to be close to, if not world class, for us to really push it.
Yeah, so that's it. The roster has been announced. We'll see what happens with injuries and stuff. There is an alternate list of Erin McLeod, Gabby Carl, Sophie Schmidt, Jordan Heitzema. So those 4 can be called upon if there's any COVID issues or any of that stuff. But anyway, this is the squad, and I'm happy. And go Canada!
I can't wait for the start, man. I'm absolutely.
I never know how to end these things.
I know, it's amazing. Go Canada is way better than clean your fish tanks in this aspect. For
in this point, yeah. So go Canada. Oh God.